Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we got to talk about some rumors. That's right, it's going to be a rumor roundup video today, specifically for that of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the rumor roundup videos, I've made a few of these on the channel before, and you guys have made mention that, you enjoy this stuff. But before I really get into it, of course, I have to warn you guys that there could be potential spoilers in this video if you're somebody out there who doesn't want to have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness potentially ruined. This may not be the video for you. Again, these are just rumors, so take this all with a grain of salt. We don't know if this stuff is going to be coming true or not, but I thought it would be interesting to kind of go through these rumors and then sort of see what books might get hot as a result of the characters that could be coming to this potential movie. So this is your fair warning right now. But before I get into the video, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel, do one of those things, and I would appreciate it. All right, well, as you can see right there from the headline, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness to introduce an Inhuman exclusive. This, of course, is a rumor that came on the Fandom Wire website. Now, for those who don't know, there's a lot of these websites like Charles Murphy and RPK and Fandom Wire. These are all like kind of famous Marvel studios leakers. A lot of these people tend to, get inside information into these MCU projects, and then they, release that out into the, media sphere. And these people, in general, they have some hits, they have some misses. But what we're starting to see is that, when you get these rumors and you start to consistently get them again and again and again, what tends to happen a lot of the times is that they actually come true. So, where there's smoke, there is fire. And there's been a lot of smoke around the, Inhuman stuff, and specifically that of the Illuminati in the MCU. And I've sort of been waiting to kind of do a rumor roundup video on it. I mean, I've spoke on the Illuminati before in a previous video where I talked about team appearances. But now that there's been so many leaks out there, I do think it's really interesting to, do a deep dive into this. But let's get into this article here and see what TJ Zwarich has to say. There has been no shortage of rumors about potential cameos in this film. However, fans will still have their minds blown when this movie hits theaters. Having three different Peter Parkers, as we all know and love, to appear in Spider-Man No Way Home set the stage for madness coming into Doctor Strange's sequel. Believe it or not, the film will blow 2021's top film out of the water in that regard. Among many of the speculations in this film is the appearance of the Illuminati, a leadership group from Marvel comic books. Now, for those who don't know, if you guys don't know who the Illuminati is basically a super team that came together in Marvel comic books, in the mid-2000s, written by Brian Michael Bendis. Basically, they're, superheroes representing all the different facets of the, universe within Marvel. So you have one from space, you got one on Earth, you got an X-Men representative, you got a Fantastic Four representative. But this is basically a team that, deals and comes together to discuss, multiversal threats. They're basically the United Nations of superheroes, but they operate in the shadows. Of course, that's why they're called the Illuminati. And there has now been rumors that we are going to be seeing the Illuminati in Doctor Strange. That is nothing new. That's been kind of rumors that are out there. But this new rumor right here is that there's going to be an Inhuman showing up, and specifically that of Blackbolt. So let's keep reading here. One potential member of the Illuminati is an Inhuman. I was able to confirm could be appearing in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. Leader of the Inhumans, Blackbolt should be appearing in the film. Marvel currently has plans to use Blackbolt and the Illuminati, and they'll be appearing barring the scene makes the final cut of the film. I was unable to confirm if Anson Mount would be reprising his role from the TV series. However, it would make sense that Marvel Studios would try to distance itself from the project. So that is generally, the rumor right now, that we are going to be seeing Blackbolt, which you can see right there on your screen, as making an appearance. And, a lot of people speculating that it's going to be the Anson Mount version of Blackbolt. You guys remember the terrible ABC TV show that had the Inhumans in it. But I really think that there is some substance to this rumor. I mean, when we think about Spider-Man No Way Home and then bringing in Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, really to me, what it seems obvious is that, Marvel Studios is trying to canonize its entire omniverse. So as much as they can, acknowledge the fact that all of these projects actually exist within the multiverse and exist within canon to the MCU, I mean, it basically just makes the brand of Marvel movies and cinema and culture a lot stronger overall. But let's assume for a second that the Illuminati is coming to the MCU. What books could be getting hot as a result of this? Well, the first one we have to talk about, of course, is New Avengers number 7 from 2005. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of the Illuminati. Now, the New Avengers run, like I mentioned before, was written by Brian Michael Bendis in the mid-2000s, and this would be the first appearance of the team. Now, with that being said, this team was comprised of characters like Iron Man, Blackbolt, Professor X, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, and Namor. And it doesn't necessarily feel like we're going to be getting those characters on our screen in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We might be getting a few of them, but currently the rumors are pointing to other characters, which I will be diving into in a second. But regardless, I still think that this is a book that is going to get hot, even though it's not going to necessarily reflect the makeup of the team that we will see in the movie. This still is the Illuminati's first appearance, and I still think that it could get a spike in the market. You know, some of the other books I think that are interesting to point out for the Illuminati, not just New Avengers number 7, but also New Avengers Illuminati number 1. Now, this isn't necessarily their second appearance or even their third appearance. I think this actually might be their 6th appearance, but this is the first time that you would see Illuminati on the cover of a book. So effectively, this could be considered the Illuminati's first solo title. I mean, it is certainly their first cover appearance. So this is a pretty cool book, in my opinion, if you're someone out there who wants to, you know, speculate on the Illuminati, or you want to get your hands on a very cool Illuminati book. Similarly, the next issue in this particular run, this would be a one-shot setting up this issue right here, which is New Avengers Illuminati number 1. This would be sort of their first solo limited series, but of course, you see right there, the New Avengers Illuminati number 1. And this is often the picture that I think a lot of people associate with the Illuminati team. This cover to me is very iconic to the Illuminati. So I think that New Avengers Illuminati number 1, New Avengers Illuminati number 1, volume 1, not to be confused, this is the Civil War, Road to Civil War setup, and also New Avengers number 7, first appearance of the Illuminati team, I think are 3 interesting books that could get hot when we get Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, with that being said, these books have slowly started to heat up within the market, so I would definitely use caution when looking for these things. I think a lot of these books are books that you could probably find in LCSs, you know, in those back bins for, you know, $5, maybe $10 or so. I personally wouldn't pay much more than $15 for something like this, so, you know, use caution if you're out there hunting. All right, so that is the first appearance of the Illuminati team, but let's talk about the Illuminati that is expected to be showing up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. A very different makeup than the one that we got in the Brian Michael Bendis comic book. And one of the first members that is speculated to be coming to the Illuminati in Doctor Strange is actually Peggy Carter as Captain America. Of course, Peggy Carter as Captain America made her appearance in the What If animated show, and it would make a lot of sense if she was actually going to be showing up in this Doctor Strange film, because if you remember, at the end of her first couple episodes in the What If show, it actually showed her jumping through some kind of dimensional portal and showing up into a different universe. So I actually think that this rumor makes a lot of sense. Of course, Peggy Carter as Captain America, her first appearance is this book right here, Exiles number 3. A book that got pretty hot coming off the heels of the What If show, but has had a little bit of its correction. As we can see right here, going into the numbers, 9.8 selling fair market value around the $230 range. 30-day moving average, however, is 415. Last couple sales, you see 344, you see 500 right here. But during the What If show in the middle of the summer, this book actually sold at a high of $600. So it's had a little bit of a dip, but it could see a little spike if she does in fact show up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I mean, I think that Peggy Carter is a character that the fans have really gravitated towards over the course of the MCU. And it feels like if they want to kind of bestow this title on her as, you know, Peggy Carter, Captain America, or there's rumors right now that they might just call her Captain Britain, that would make sense to me as why they would want to keep her around in the MCU. And that could be the moniker that she operates under. So it feels like a book like this has legs with regards to the MCU. But again, use caution when you're out there buying. This is all just rumors right now. All right, the next rumored member of the team for the Illuminati that is set to come out in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is actually Monica Rambeau, aka Captain Marvel, aka Captain Monica Rambeau. Of course, Monica Rambeau made her appearance in the WandaVision show, played by Teyonah Parris, and we all know that this is a character that, you know, presumably the MCU is building up to have a role in the years to come. Now, for those who are fans of this character, you guys would know that Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16 was actually the book where she would make her first appearance, and this is a book that got extremely hot during WandaVision. I mean, that was like some of the peaks of the market, and this one was absolutely exploding. It's definitely had its big correction, but as we know, Captain Marvel is set to make an appearance in the Marvels, aka the Captain Marvel 2 movie, sometime in 2023, I believe that it is. So it actually would make a lot of sense to me if Kevin Feige was thinking, hey, we got to keep the fans invested in the Captain Marvel character, but we're not going to see her for another year and a half. How can we get this character still involved in the storylines? And it makes sense that they would decide to take her variant and insert her into the Illuminati team. One of the other things I think is interesting about the character is that it feels like they're going to go with the Spectrum moniker for her character. That just makes sense because I think it would be too confusing to have two Captain Marvels out there in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that book in particular, of course, is this one right here, Mighty Avengers #1, first appearance of Captain Marvel as Spectrum. So it feels like Spectrum is going to be the moniker that eventually she takes up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I kind of feel like in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, what's going to happen is they're going to give her the actual name Captain Marvel, and in that specific universe, Monica Rambeau was the one that, maybe got blasted by the Space Stone and became the Captain Marvel. So that's a little bit of their way of having their cake and eating it too, getting to call Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel in one universe, and then, eventually when we get her in our universe, they're going to be, calling her Spectrum. But this is a book that I think is, still a good buy in my opinion. It feels like Teyonah Parris is going to be playing this character for a long time. Feels like there's been a big correction with this book, and this to me still feels like, the main book that I personally would want to pick up if I was collecting, Monica Rambeau. I think that the Mighty Avengers #1 is still a great book to have, but it doesn't seem to me that this is ever going to be a book that exceeds the value of the ASM 16 book, simply due to the fact that this one is older, there's going to be less copies. This is also from the Amazing Spider-Man run, so there's other factors as to why the value of this thing would be higher than Mighty Avengers #1. Another book to point out that I think is really interesting, of course, is this Captain Marvel #1. This is the one that, also got really hot. A lot of people were speculating on this thing once we got, Teyonah Parris in WandaVision. But again, I think that they're going to be giving her the moniker of Spectrum. So it kind of feels like, having this first solo title of Captain Marvel might actually get hot in Doctor Strange if in fact they're going to be calling her Captain Marvel in this universe. So I think that the height of this book is maybe going to come when we get Doctor Strange, but it's already kind of a hot book, maybe a little bit inflated right now. I personally wouldn't get this thing, but if you're someone who loves this character, this may be the book for you. All right, moving on now to the next member of the team that is rumored to be showing up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and that's actually Baldur the Brave. Now, Baldur the Brave, of course, makes his first appearance in Journey into Mystery #85. At least that's what the Marvel Wiki suggests and other websites. I've gone onto my Marvel Unlimited looking for his appearance in this book, and I personally have not been able to find it. I think that his first appearance, at least that I could find in going through the wiki, is Journey into Mystery #102, which incidentally is the first appearance of the character known as Sif. But again, Baldur the Brave, I think is a really interesting character, half-brother of Thor, a character that, we got the Warriors 3 in the Thor universe. We got a lot of the characters within context to the Thor mythos, but we never saw Baldur. So I think this is really interesting that, Marvel would want to, bring in a character like this. Kind of makes sense. I mean, they want to kind of canonize everything. They didn't use Baldur in the previous Thor films, but they have to have a Thor, or they have to have an Asgardian representative or space representative in the Illuminati. So a lot of rumors pointing to Baldur as showing up. And, of course, Journey into Mystery 85, a very, very expensive book. Kind of hard to speculate on something like that because it is the first appearance of Loki. Additionally, Journey into Mystery 102, another book that's sort of hard to speculate on because this is the first appearance of Sif and other characters. But this one right here, Baldur the Brave #1, first limited solo series, I think is a really interesting pickup. A book that you can often find in dollar bins. So if you happen to come across this one in LCSs, I think that this might actually be a really good buy. Now, I don't think that Baldur is going to have a long run in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't necessarily think we're going to see him past Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but maybe for a quick flip, a quick pickup, this one might be a good book to get your hands on. All right, the next member we got to talk about, of course, is the Blackbolt character who we talked about at the beginning of the video. Anson Mount is maybe set to reprise his role here in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as Black Bolt. And this book right here, Fantastic Four number 46, would be Black Bolt's first appearance. And I actually think that this is a really great book to own. I mean, in my opinion, this book was actually undervalued for a very long time. I think Black Bolt is a very important character. I think the Inhumans books in general have taken such a hit due to the fact that people received the show so poorly. So I think that these books were very, very undervalued in the market. And personally, to me, I think Black Bolt is the main character to get your hands on. And I actually think that this is a book worth investing in, worth picking up. It might be hot now due to all these rumors. You know, a lot of people like to buy the rumors, so this may not be the right window to buy this book. But if you can find this thing at a good deal, I think that it's personally a good investment. I'm definitely looking for this thing myself. All right, going on now to the last couple rumored characters to be showing up in the Illuminati. The next member is Baron Mordo, or it's going to be Sorcerer Supreme Baron Mordo. In this particular universe, I guess Baron Mordo is a good guy. But of course, his first appearance, Strange Tales number 111, a great book in my opinion, one that I've talked about on the channel many times, one that I've talked about with Como comic books and Bryce comic books. This is a great book. We know that Mordo is going to be appearing in Doctor Strange regardless of Illuminati spec. We know that he was in the first Doctor Strange, and he is actually, we hear his voice in the current teaser right now. We've actually seen him in the trailer. So this is a great book if you can find it. It has gotten really hot recently. It's also a very hard one to find. It is the second appearance of Doctor Strange. So a book that is always going to be, in my opinion, a minor blue chip, and one that is always worth picking up. Of course, the next rumor that we have for a character appearing in the Illuminati is actually going to be Ian Grufford. Excuse me if I butchered his name, but you guys remember this guy. He, of course, played Reed Richards in those Fantastic Four movies that came out, you know, around the late 2000s, 2008, 2010, etc. And so there are currently rumors that he is going to be reprising the role in this particular universe. Now, I don't think that he is going to be our Reed Richards in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for years to come. But again, like I mentioned at the beginning, I think that Marvel wants to canonize all its properties. So this would be a sort of nod to the fans that, hey, these movies existed, these characters are real, and here we are acknowledging them in the MCU. Of course, I don't need to tell you guys, Fantastic Four number 1 is Reed Richards' first appearance, so kind of hard to speculate on this book. Similarly, with the last member of the Illuminati team that's rumored to come, yes, Patrick Stewart is rumored to make his return in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Professor X and the leader of this Illuminati team. His first appearance, of course, is X-Men number 1, and that would be really, really interesting to see Patrick Stewart reprising his role. Now, I don't actually think that these characters are going to be playing the versions of themselves that come from the Fox universe. They're sort of a wink to the audience. Well, that is all I have for this video. You know, the rumors are that the Illuminati is going to be showing up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and that Black Bolt is going to be playing a role on that team. New Avengers number 7, first appearance of the Illuminati, a very interesting book if you can find it at a good deal. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about the Illuminati? Are you guys excited about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? What would you like to see? Who would you like to see on the team? Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next video.